So let's get into Chainsaw Man. So we just wrapped up on volume 5, and we're here to go over it together here. There is a lot. I have a gazillion notes. There is a lot to go through.
I got quite a bit as well, just for one volume.
Yeah. Do you want to kick it off? Do you want me to kick it off?
Yeah, it's kind of it. So I'll kick it off. The first thing I noticed
Okay.
was the fact that the snake lady, I forget her name, didn't actually have control of the ghost. I thought that was really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Like oh no, she got control of the ghost devil. It's gonna be a tough fight. Nope, nope. Ghost devil just sat there and let him kill him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was. Yeah. That was very surprising, considering everything that you saw leading up to that. I think the first note that I noted immediately was about the samurai sword, is what they called him, was the demon that, or devil, Denji has like a vendetta against now.
Yeah, the katana devil, the official name
Yeah.
apparently. I was close with the
Okay.
sword.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently they had a backstory or some connection to Denji in that they were the grandson into the Yakuza that drove Denji into the debt, which was kind of interesting that the word that they picked was they drove him into a debt when he
It was
inherited
his
it on
father's debt,
like,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I thought that was a weird choice of words. Maybe it's a translation. But
It might be, it might
who
not
knows?
be, because in a way, technically the debt should have left with the father, and somehow it went to the kid, and the kid really didn't know any better.
Yeah,
So I
maybe
don't
they were
know.
just like, "Hey, do you want to fix this on your father's behalf?" And Denji's like, "Oh, sure, whatever I need to do." And then
Yeah, there wouldn't
that's
be any contract or anything holding him to it, because he wasn't eligible to even sign a contract for the debt at that. He's
yeah,
still not an adult. He's 16, so
yeah, yeah. But he's a menace in the show, the 16-year-old menace that everyone's afraid of.
who can't read.
He can't do a lot of things,
Yeah, he can't read, can't do
but
math.
apparently he could. But he could do a tie. He can tie a tie.
Somehow.
Yeah, one of his survival skills. Yeah, then the other note I had was the future devil noted that with Aki, he contracted with several different how did I totally misworded this in my notes. But pretty much when Aki uses his ability, he can see, it said, like a sliver into the future.
Yes, I have that note here. It says, yeah, it's simply a sliver into the future, so you can see like a second or so into the future, so you can react to things a lot easier.
Yeah, so that will be interesting because it's been hard, and I feel like it's always hard in manga compared to anime, but it's hard to see just how fast these characters are. So, like, does that second really make a difference like it would for somebody in Bleach or Dragon Ball, or Naruto,
Mm.
where like they're like
Well,
blitzing across
it
fields.
doesn't say how long a sliver is,
Right, exactly.
and
So that's kind of
also
what I'm trying to
the
figure
other
out the
thing is that
benefit.
he's only seeing it in his right eye, so his left eye is still seeing normal time. That would completely throw me off. That's gotta take some training to get used to.
That's a trip. You got present time in like half of your brain, and the other is seeing a sliver, and you have to somehow like figure it out.
Hmm.
Like, yeah.
He
But
definitely
that,
would
I
need some
mean,
training for that, which I guess they did do a training montage, so I guess he's had time to master it.
yeah. I mean, and he looked like he was a menace when he was going through the training. Like he's cleaning house through whatever was right in front of him. So it's always hard, especially with these characters that are pretty developed in power by the time we meet them. Like Aki, like, did he go through some big leaps in power, or is he just getting more accustomed to this ability? Because he's been the one in charge, where Makima kind of gave him the keys to the kingdom on this whole division. So anyway, I'm interested to see where this goes with Aki and his power, because he didn't seem like he was messing around in any shape or size at all. And now he's got this to where I think that sliver, quote unquote, obviously has to be big because he sacrificed he didn't really sacrifice much, but that devil is supposed
Yeah.
to be crazy powerful,
Yeah,
and they've
the future devil's supposed to be really powerful, and they usually sacrifice a lot. But for him, it's literally, I just want to see your ending, pretty much. So it's
yeah,
obviously something interesting is going to happen for the devil, a future devil, to be that interested in it.
yeah, exactly. So I'm excited for that.
Yep.
And
So
then
I got a
go
little
ahead.
note here. So why is Power still a complete idiot even after the training? I just,
I think that's just her personality. I
it
don't
could
know.
be, but you
Yeah,
would think that she would learn something, because it's literally, oh, they went on the floor and it opened up to a bunch of zombies. And did you even see they're like, just don't make a noise? And it was obvious that he was just waiting for the door to close so he could go to the next floor. And Pal's like, no, we're gonna go in and fight. It just,
yeah,
why?
yeah, yeah.
We're not even
Which
on the floor where we're supposed to be.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I actually missed that note, even though I know exactly what you're talking about. Which I did know later. There's something we find out from Makima with that fight that happened with Power and the zombies.
Yes, it's true.
But yeah, we'll get there in a second. So yeah, then Denji goes up to the correct floor, and then who up there is waiting for him except the devil that kicked a good amount of butt, including Denji.
Yeah, we find out that it is kind of the same thing with Digi, where this guy replaced his heart with, well, I don't think he necessarily replaced it, but he put the heart of a devil into himself.
Yep.
So Digi's heart's replaced by the chainsaw devil. His heart is, he apparently has the heart of the katana devil in him.
Yep.
That's how they're different than a fiend, is that they're still technically human, but they have a heart of a devil in them.
Yep. Yeah, and their fight was pretty fun to watch. We do see it's not even that long of a fight. We do see that Denji, what was it? He lost both of his, yeah, he lost
Lost both
both
of
of
his
his
arms,
arms, and
and
then
he
the
was
head
threatening with
piece on
his
his chainsaw.
yeah. But you find out that he can make chainsaws anywhere in his body, including his legs. And he was actually
Yeah,
purposely trying to get the guy to aim towards his head chainsaw so he could take him out with his leg chainsaw. So that was really creative
yeah,
and awesome. I loved it.
yeah. That was very explosive, exciting because it looked like Denji's just on the ropes, and then obviously Denji's able to change it up. So when I saw the panel where his the chainsaw was in his leg, I had read that or looked at that as Denji's head chainsaw broke off and he pushed it with his leg through him. But I'd have to look at it again because what you noted was he put it on his, or
Yeah,
he
it's his
pulled
actual
one out of his leg.
leg. He
Yeah.
had another chainsaw like right in the middle of his leg all the way down.
Okay.
So he made a
Yeah.
fourth chainsaw.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm definitely leaning towards what you're thinking because my head when I read that was how wouldn't his leg get cut off if he's just pushing a broken chainsaw? But what you're
Yeah.
saying makes more sense than I read because I kind of had a couple question marks on my note of like, what? How does that make sense? Yeah, that fight was pretty cool though. Seeing Denji literally on the ropes, at least for a short amount of time, because it didn't seem like Denji was gonna beat him unless he had some trick up his sleeve, which he ended up doing because the Katana Devil was so much faster than him,
I
just as one
figured
step.
that he would have a trick, especially after the training. I'm sure
Yeah,
he has even more abilities than what we just saw in that small section.
like Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan Chainsaw Man.
uh,
Right, or maybe he's got Infinity.
Either one of those would be kind of scary in Digi's hands, I'll be honest.
That would be really scary for anybody that opposed him. Uh let's see, let's see. Uh they sorry. I
So
am
I
currently
did
looking at
have a
my
note
notes.
here for after they captured the lady with the snake devil. The snake
Yeah.
devil actually ate her head off.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, they consider it like a suicide contract or something like that.
Yep.
I thought that was really weird to put it that way because I wouldn't consider it that.
No, no, and I'll admit I wasn't very. I don't know. I wasn't totally invested in like the things happening on that side with the Snake Devil compared to the Denji thing. I think I like skimmed right through it to be like, what's going on with Denji? I need to know.
It was only like a
Which I should
scene
have
that you
done.
just see the snake had just bit her head off. So I
Hmm.
could see just skipping over it, but I was really confused by that how they put it. I just I don't know. I think that they would have better contract than that.
I mean, when you're trying to just get whatever power you can, I guess, you know, what room do you have to negotiate? I guess,
Yeah, fair
you
enough.
know. Um, I did love the part where they tied up the sword devil or samurai katana sword devil guy
The
and
competition.
uh, the competition, and Aki actually participated. He's like, "What? What? We just need to tie him up. We need to capture him." And then it's like, "Oh no!" Next panel, they're all
Yeah, once he got
kicking the
it, the
crap out of him.
explanation, the competition explained to him, he's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
in.
yeah, that was hysterical. And they're hoping that what was it? Himeno was hearing them up in the heavens or whatever
Yeah.
they said.
uh,
Yeah, that was great. Loved that. Uh yeah, that was another high, I guess, right? They defeat somebody and then they get the reward of being, Denji's just a teenage kid and he's very basic of like, well, I captured him, but I don't have to be nice, I
yeah.
could get some of my own personal revenge here.
Well,
And Aki, you need it.
the guy was kind of an a-hole and didn't really understand the full scope of what happened and never believed Denji even when he told him the truth. So
Yeah.
he kind of deserved
Yep.
what happened to him.
Yep. Yeah, and then so they capture him, and then Makima is presenting to, it looks like some, the form of government going on the mission status of what they've done. They gathered enough material for the Gun Devil to the point that they're actually going to start seeing where it's at. Like there's enough of a pull happening, and they've triangulated it down to exactly where that's going to be. So very quickly on, we're seeing, all right, they're making good progress to the main baddie. There's not this like, you got to beat 7 bosses before you get to me, Demon Slayer,
That is kind of a trope in a lot of
It's true.
books. I just
Bleach
have you
does it with the
ever?
Espada, Akatsuki.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just now thinking of Persona 5, the vacation one that they did. I can't remember there was a continuation to the story that they did at Strikers,
Okay.
and as part of that, they actually go into a novelist world, and it's like the most generic novel BS that's possible. And of course, you had to fight like 5 different bosses for levels. Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
doing that anymore. Please
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Even though I will say, if done right, it is enjoyable. But we didn't really. Obviously, I'm poking fun at something we didn't even like. They didn't rank him or like, oh, he's the number 4 devil under the gun. Like there wasn't
Yeah,
anything like that.
there's nothing
So
like that.
uh, I'm just throwing shade for the fun of it.
But yeah, after that, we get to the point that he was talking about with power that he kind of drank too much blood.
Yeah, that was the next bullet point I had.
Yeah,
Yeah, so she starts growing horns, which is like the first demonic, devilish trait I feel like we've physically seen on these types of characters. And then I'm pretty sure it's Makima is the one that shares his info of like, oh, we need to drain her. And
yeah,
it
she's
seemed
gone
like it
too much
was normal.
power to the point that she
Yeah.
kind of completely accidentally completely annihilated Genji for a second there. But
Yeah.
apparently, every so often, Power has to go get her blood drained just to get her power down.
Yeah. And just in the small little interaction where Makima tells her that, Power just kind of goes, okay. And it's, you could read it as either she's used to it and agrees with it and it's a norm, or she's so fearful of Makima that she'll just do whatever she's saying.
Yeah, it could be. It's probably a bit of both, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was I felt like good info because that makes that kind of like foreshadows what about when Denji does that? Because Denji, how we've talked before, when he was fighting, oh, what was it wasn't a time one. What was his name? The devil that
The
locked him on the
Infinity
floor.
Devil.
The Infinity Devil, yeah. Where he was literally just consuming its blood and just getting like this huge passive heal because he kept consuming it, to where he's able to defeat that
I
devil.
think one of the big
So
difference is like I was saying earlier, Digi is not a fiend, so
sure.
it might affect him differently than the power devil, than the power. But power is also a blood fiend, so I think that also affects things. So I don't know. I guess we're gonna
Yeah.
find out in due time.
Because yeah, it could go one of several different ways specifically for power, and then maybe it stops at power.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, because of
Uh
that, Digi gets a new partner. What you think of the shark fiend?
the it's okay. I'll admit, like the idea of the shark fiend is cool because some of the abilities you see when he's trailing Denji. I will say maybe it's a good change of pace because Denji's already pretty unorthodox, and uh, having somebody arguably crazier than him or like fanboying over him is a little interesting. I don't know. I don't. I'm a little conflicted on like I'm happy to meet a new character that's hanging out with him, but I'm also not sure if I like the shark
Yeah,
fiend
I
yet.
was wondering why the heck the shark fiend loved Chainsaw Devil so much. What
Yeah,
what what the heck is the relationship there?
yeah. What is Denji exactly done to have this reputation? You know, like I mean, he's gotten rid of a couple devils, but I don't know. I don't know if there's something that I'm not seeing that has made like his reputation skyrocket to the point that like even the other devil hunters are like very interested in him, like the shark fiend, or maybe he's not super knowledgeable on what's everything else outside. I'm not sure.
Not sure either.
Yeah, he doesn't
He
have
seems
a
kind
really
of like
big.
an idiot at times, so I don't know.
Yeah, and I would imagine if you look at the scorecard, before it's kind of like the, don't meet your heroes, right? Because a scorecard might reflect one thing, and then you go look at who he defeated, but then you meet him, and you're like, oh, Denji, you're an idiot. Like, how did you win any of those fights, right? Like that type of stuff. But yeah, I mean,
I think with
Denji hasn't
Digi,
exactly.
he's just very good at surviving, and that's kind of what gives him his edge. Is that he's willing to do anything to just keep on living.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And maybe the more I'm thinking about it, maybe the Devil Hunter roster in general, even outside of this division, isn't super vast because Denji was the one out of that whole group when they got locked on that in that building on that particular floor with the Infinity Devil, that he was the one that was able to defeat them, where they were all thinking about getting rid of him and feeding him to the devil. So that's probably going to have some build up towards his reputation that he was being, his whole team was ready to go fork him over to that devil, and he was able to defeat him on his own anyway. So that might help with it. Like maybe I'm imagining that the devil hunter, whatever they're going to be, whatever they're called, is just this huge team of folks, but maybe it's not that big. Maybe it's much smaller, and it like anybody that stands out is going to really stand out. I'm not sure.
That's true. I mean, the whole group is built up of devils and fiends, so or
Yeah.
some variation of that. So I guess some of them stand out more than others.
Yeah. So what did you think of the thing that happens next with Makima and Denji?
The date, I loved it.
Yeah.
I was more intrigued at the fact that they kept on watching movies until they found one that Makima liked.
Hmm.
That or moved Makima. I think that was it. Is that they were trying to find something that actually made her feel something. That's kind of giving you a
Yeah.
hint of Makima's really not normal here.
No.
I mean, things that
But she's
actually made
go
Denji
ahead.
cry just made Makima go.
What was it? Was it I felt like they were at the same time both reacting to things. Like they seem so much more alike than I think even Denji or even me or us understood. Like they're so far apart on intelligence, at least with what we see from Makima compared to Denji. But then they are relatable on things like human emotion and maybe it's that Denji's just so immature and he doesn't necessarily know how to respond to things, and Makima is so far above it. But then they kind of have a common playing field on things that are extreme. I don't know.
Do we know Makima's age? I don't
No,
think we
I
ever
don't think
did.
so. She's at least 21. She was drinking.
That's true. That's true. Well,
Yeah.
is drinking age different in Japan? Actually, curious.
I don't know. I thought there was something that mentioned
20.
that they had to be 21. Okay, it's
20.
20. So maybe she's she's got to be at least around that age, 20, 21,
Yeah, because
especially
I
to
was
be at
thinking, I
the
know the
rank she's
drinking
in.
age in Australia is 18, so I'm like, is it still 21 out there, or is it something different?
Yeah. But I mean, that makes you, I don't know, that makes you believe that, I mean, Makima is the huge manipulator, right? So the more you see her talking or doing anything, the more questions I have of like, what's her intent? What pushes her to do anything? Like, especially manipulating Denji. Like, she's not doing anything to the level that she would with power, where she just obviously makes power fearful from her. But Makima is doing things that makes Denji obviously yearning for more of her attention in any way, right? And she's not doing anything to make her fear or him fear her.
That doesn't always work, considering Digi does get another girl pretty soon afterwards.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Do you want to go on
Yeah,
to the next part?
what do you think about Rize?
You're just kind of at the point of every time they introduce a new character that's friendly to Denji, what's their motive?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's
That
very
was a. It's
rare.
like it's a huge. Okay, what's this one like? Is there a devil feed? What's going on here?
Yeah, exactly.
You
It's not
secretly
like
hope it's not, but you definitely know it.
yeah, exactly. Because it's not like where you look at the outcome for, like, let's say, in the Dragon Ball world, you have Gohan and Videl, or or Chi Chi and Goku, and like the outcome of them is great and everyone's happy with it. But leading up to it, someone talking to the main character, you immediately have, your alarms are raised and you're going, what are you in here for? He's my
especially
main character,
especially if it's not somebody earlier on that we know or something like that.
Exactly.
I just
Yep, they weren't kind of in that circle
like
at the,
if you had
time he
like a.
started.
It would have been different if there was a flashback showing that Rize actually knew him as a kid or something, but there was nothing of
Yeah,
the
or
sort.
someone else is like friends with Aki, and something that make you connect to that. Right now there's no bridge of connection, so you immediately have your alarms raised and you're like, what are you here for? Oh, look at that. She's doing all these things again to manipulate him, because she goes skinny dipping with him. They're doing all of the
Oh
things,
boy,
right? Not
yeah.
not everything yet, but all the stuff to kind of allude to. She doesn't, at face value, you could look at it and go, oh, she must really like him, but at the same time, like, Denji's already dealt with a couple of different women already, and it's kind of even raising like his guard a little bit, to where he's just like, now he's not just, gooning over every single girl he sees. Like, I would say he has his guard up, but he's less like diving off the deep end of how can I kiss her, hug her, whatever. Like, he's just like, when they first met, like, she was like, oh yeah, come to my coffee shop or whatever, and then he just
He goes
came and hung,
straight
hung
in,
out.
yeah.
Yeah. But he wasn't like, when can I hang out with you? Like, he was just kind of there, and then she was the one making the moves, which again is always interesting, of like, okay, now you got him here, you're the one that's like, come over to my chair. And he's like, no, I'm good, I'm just chilling here. I was already sitting here, or whatever the situation was.
Yeah.
And then she went and sat over there anyway. um Yeah, let me see.
So I do want to get a bit more into her because the ending for her is insane. But we do get a little intersection in there between that about Aki and his new partner, the Angel
Yeah.
Devil. I would not
Yep.
expect the Angel Devil to be super lazy like he is.
And it's a dude.
Yeah, it's a dude.
Yeah, like it's so funny because I remember I literally read that and they said him or his or whatever. I was like, is that a dude? And then like a couple pages later, somebody points out like maybe it was
It
Denji.
was
I
Denji.
swear. Somebody
Yeah,
yeah,
it was in
somebody was
Denji's
yeah,
head. He's
Denji
just
was
like, well, it's definitely not the Angel Devil. I hear he's a dude.
yeah. So there was nothing questioning. Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, very very lazy. Aki now gets to go, shepherd another trainee, arguably, and maybe trainee is the wrong word, but
I think
motivate.
he hasn't tried to motivate Angel Devils, which I think is what he's trying to figure out what motivates him. And we
Yeah,
do get the fact that he likes ice cream, but he just sits there and constantly orders ice cream for some reason.
yeah, because he's procrastinating. He
Yeah,
doesn't want to go
yeah.
anywhere, and he's like, "Oh, well, what? Let me just finish this,"
We
and
gotta
then
go back up into
the
roll.
goalpost never moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, weapons are. Let
But
me
the
see.
Angel
I did
Devil could
note.
create weapons. Yeah, that was something I found
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So do you think they're gonna just be throwing weapons to Aki with his power, and he's gonna be the main brute in that duo?
Probably.
Yeah,
But it depends on. I don't know the. So they mentioned some things about how the weapons are created, but I don't know how long it takes for the angel weapon to make a new weapon or anything of that sort. So I guess we
yeah.
have to
But
wait
they
and
have
see.
crazy, abilities because
Yes.
they shared that the one of the weapons was able to cut through an intangible ghost.
Yes.
Intangible, folks that don't know, means they're not physical. So like think Danny Phantom and how he's phasing through walls. They're somehow able to cut him. So like we see early on in the series when we meet the one of the first or the I want to say like the only ghost is that like whoever was trying to have a fight with them, like they could not interact or grab or harm the ghost, but the ghost could harm them, which is terrifying to think about. Yeah. So the fact that the angel was able to create a weapon like that is now terrifying on the other end because it's going to catch folks off guard that are not able to perceive what weapon probably Aki is going to wield. So yeah, a lot of questions now sprout off from that of exactly what you talked about. What's the duration? What's the use? Like, is Aki just going to have like I don't know, like solo leveling? He's got an inventory of weapons. He just grabs and out of nowhere, and then poof, he's fighting immortals, or whatever he's
There's
doing.
actually a web comic that I've been reading called Dungeon Porter, and he has a bag that's just filled with weapons. Like, are we gonna go that and just keep on pulling out weapons one after another, or what? Yeah,
Yeah, it's like 10-10.
yeah. Let me just get these scrolls of
uh,
weapons out.
yeah, exactly. Ping, boom, poof. All the smoke,
Yeah,
popping
yeah,
from the
yeah.
weapons.
All right, we're getting close to the end of the volume, but we got I
Yeah,
think the last two sections I think are very important, especially the fight with Rize and the Typhoon Devil, or the
yeah,
person who was being controlled by the Typhoon Devil. I don't know the extent of what happened there. But
yeah,
Typhoon
yeah.
Devil,
Manipulated, partnered,
yeah.
whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Well, they weren't really partner because the Typhoon Devil was like, well, if I knew you weren't here, then I would have come. But
No, sorry, I meant with who the Typhoon Devil was with.
oh
The
yeah,
guy.
that guy was being manipulated out the
Yes.
boss. But
Yeah. Which
I literally sat there when got to the part where she was singing. I'm like, that looks like Russian. Is that a Russian song? I had to look it up. It's actually an actual Russian song. It's called
okay.
"Jane Slept in the Church."
Okay.
I have no clue about it, but that's what I found out, and holy crud!
Yeah. It was they definitely foreshadowed the typhoon with the rain, and then how the rain stopped when she went in the phone booth with Denji. And then, because originally I thought that was like her ability of like, oh, she's in a better mood because of Denji, the rain stopped. Something along those lines. But it now makes me think it was Typhoon. And then I'm sure it was
It's
related
probably
to like
Typhoon
her.
following him. What I'm thinking.
Yeah. 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 So then Lily, yeah, right at the end, we see that Typhoon knows her, and she's got to be a big bad in some way of maybe power or rank or both, to where Typhoon's like, oh, you're here. I wouldn't have done this had I known, right? To where there's a level of respect.
Yeah. Well, there is one more chapter. You did read 44, right?
I think so.
Okay. You got the reveal of the devil that Rise is?
Oh, I did not read 44. Tell me. That's okay.
He's the bomb devil.
The bomb diggity.
Yep.
Okay.
So she tries to trick Digi into joining her and running off. He refuses. He's like, I have a good situation where I am, and she then kisses him and bites off the guy's tongue. So he can't scream or do anything of that sort, and starts pretty much going after him. He gets saved by the shark devil. He's like, I should have known. I should have guessed that it was him. And then you just see her head explode, and all of a sudden there's a bomb in the place of her head.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah, that's insane.
And that's where it left. And that's where it
That's
leaves off.
the end of it. Yeah, she's just walking down
Oh,
towards
okay.
Digi with that head on.
Okay. That's my bad. I need to update my note. I said read to 44, not complete 44. So I got there and I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Nope, it's every
So
9
that's my bad.
chapters from here on out.
Yep. No, you're right. I need to rephrase my note there. All right. Sweet. Well, that is exciting. So that is volume
Volume 5.
5.
We're now gonna do
Yeah.
volume 6 for the next one.
Yeah. So if anyone has been following us around on Chainsaw Man or wants to follow us on the journey there, feel free to check out the segments in the podcast.